She wins the national title. First thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Couple of words. I would have been fine with it. She's embraced the villain. She understands social media. She's done quite well. But her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark.
Angel Reese just can't handle it. Caitlin Clark's crushing records left and right, and Reese is losing it. You gotta see her reaction to Clark's latest award. But here's the thing, is Reese just jealous, or does she have a point? Clark's rookie season was nuts, but some say she's getting too much hype. Let's break it down and see what's really going on. Picture this. Caitlin Clark steps onto the court for her first WNBA game. The arena's buzzing, everyone's eyes are glued to her.
But remember the Chicago Sky, the national title winner at LSU, and she talked about where all this attention started with her and Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese spoke to the media. She didn't speak to the media after the game against Caitlin Clark.
Will she live up to the hype? I mean, she crushed it in college, but the pros? That's a whole different beast. First game jitters? Not for Clark. She comes out guns blazing. She's threading passes through impossible gaps, draining threes like they're layups, and making seasoned vets look like they're stuck in slow motion. The crowd's going wild, but here's the crazy part. It wasn't just a one-time thing. Clark keeps this up night after night. She's not just playing well, she's rewriting the record books. You won't believe this, but Clark smashed 62 records in her rookie season. Yeah, you heard that right. 62. That's not just good, that's otherworldly. The basketball world's losing its mind. Fans can't get enough. Coaches are scratching their heads trying to figure out how to stop her.
WNBA has been around a couple of decades, and people didn't notice the game. They're noticing it now. Well, that's because of Caitlin Clark, not Angel Reese. Angel Reese has played a role in this, and she's a very good player. What event Tiger was playing you were going to watch, they're still trying to capitalize on him. Playing in the U.S. Open. NBC and Peacock, their graphic has Scottie Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, and then who's looming larger on the screen but Tiger. But there's nothing about her game that's really interesting that is going to translate to people who may not watch the WNBA.
Even opposing players are in awe. It's like watching a video game character come to life on the court. But Clark's impact goes beyond just numbers. She's breathing new life into the Indiana Fever. They clinched their first playoff spot in almost a decade. That's huge. It's not just about individual glory for Clark. She's elevating her entire team. Now you might be thinking, is she really that good or is it just beginner's luck? Well, let me tell you, Clark's not just riding a hot streak. Her coaches and teammates can't stop talking about her insane work ethic.
It's Caitlin Clark. Now, do I think it was assault, as the Chicago Tribune said? No, it was not. She is a social media star, and she has capitalized on that. And maybe she embraces being the villain. But make no mistake about it, Caitlin Clark is the reason why everybody has an opinion on what happened in that game. It was a hard foul. It's wrong. You don't need it in the game. And there's a lot of things that came out of that. People bringing in race.
She's in the gym before anyone else, always pushing to get better. But don't think it's all been smooth sailing. Clark's facing pressure like you wouldn't believe. Every game, every move is under a microscope. The expectations are through the roof. But you know what's wild? She thrives under that pressure. It's like she feeds off it. Some people are comparing Clark's rookie season to legends like Michael Jordan. That's how much of an impact she's having. But not everyone's buying the hype. Some folks are saying it's too much, too soon. What do you think? Is Clark the real deal? Or is this all just a flash in the pan?
Here, she's not. And, she's doing her best to try to sell a foul. But if you're going to have hard fouls on her, that, I think, reflects poorly on the WNBA. Caitlin Clark, I don't want her to get all the calls, but I also want her to be at least treated fairly if you're going to officiate a game. Now, she got all the calls, it felt like, in college. Treat her fairly. And, as far as jealousy goes, I think it's just competition. Like, if you're out there, you want the best player, I want you. I want to shut you down. I don't care.
Imagine a player so electric, they make people who've never watched women's basketball tune in. Now, picture arenas packed to the rafters, merch flying off shelves, and TV ratings skyrocketing. Sounds like a dream scenario, right? Well, it's happening, but here's the kicker. Not everyone's thrilled about it. Caitlin Clark isn't just putting up crazy numbers. She's changing the whole game. Remember when people used to say women's basketball was boring? Clark shut them up real quick.
She thinks she's, the reason why this is all happening here. Caitlin Clark was going to get eyeballs whether she played against Angel Reese in LSU or not. What it takes. I mean, this is their livelihood. But I think Angel Reese is jealous of Caitlin Clark because we had not seen anything like this before. Her style of play. There's great players in the game. Wonderful players. You know, I go back to Diana Taurasi.
She's got moves that'll make your jaw drop and a play style that's got everyone talking. The impact is insane. Arenas are packed every time Clark steps on the court. TV ratings through the roof. It's like everyone and their grandma wants to see Clark play. And it's not just about watching. Fans are buying in big time. Clark jerseys are selling faster than hotcakes at a county fair. But here's where it gets wild. Clark's impact goes way beyond just basketball. She's not just a player anymore. She's a cultural icon. You've got kids rocking Clark jerseys to school, people quoting her on social media, and brands falling over themselves to work with her.
Cynthia Cooper, Tamika Catchings. I mean, there are so many great players, but maybe they didn't capture your imagination. I love watching her play. She's still playing. What is she, 41? I think she just had 31 points the other night. I mean, Sue Bird played at a high level. So many great players. I mean, I go back to Caitlin Clark has. People watched. Now everybody wants to have an opinion on this. And that's where it clutters, muddies up everything that the women have tried to do. They've been there. You just haven't noticed.
It's like she's single-handedly making women's basketball cool in a way we've never seen before. Now you'd think everyone would be over the moon about this, right? Well, not exactly. Some of the WNBA veterans aren't happy. They're saying Clark's getting too much attention. Aja Wilson, one of the league's biggest stars, even said it doesn't matter what other players do. They might still get overlooked. So here's the million-dollar question. Is this just jealousy, or do they have a point? I mean, Clark's bringing in fans and money like nobody's business. But is it fair if she's hogging all the spotlight? The WNBA's got a tough job on their hands. How do you market a superstar like Clark without leaving everyone else in the dust? It's like trying to juggle flaming torches while riding a unicycle. One wrong move and everything could come crashing down. But let's be real for a second. Clark's ability to draw in fans and create buzz is nothing short of extraordinary. She's not just moving the needle, she's practically breaking it. We're talking about a turning point for the WNBA here. Clark's making women's basketball a topic at every water cooler and dinner table across the country. So what do you think? Is the Clark effect good for the league, or is it causing more problems than it's solving? One thing's for sure, women's basketball will never be the same again. All right, let's wrap this up. Caitlin Clark's rookie season, it wasn't just great. It was like she rewrote the playbook for women's basketball. We're not just talking about breaking records. Clark's changing how people see the whole sport. Think about it. Before Clark, when was the last time you heard people buzzing about women's basketball like this? She's not just a player, she's a movement. Kids are dreaming of being the next Caitlin Clark. Even people who never cared about the WNBA are tuning in. But here's the million-dollar question. Is this just the start for Clark? She's already said she wants to be one of the best players in the world. And you know what? With the way she's playing, that doesn't seem crazy at all. Clark's not just changing the game, she's redefining what's possible in women's sports. Buckle up, folks. The Caitlin Clark era is just getting started.